просто видяшку смотрю.
Ага. Так, всем привет, всем приветствую всех, кто подключается, либо кто будет смотреть записи. Сегодня 3-й стрим по Геншину. Посмотрим, что нас тут ждет.
Astra Abyssosk.
Так, секундочку.
about to get dicey. The Temple of Wisdom. Take.
I will have order. Gather.
Time for a light show.
Stabilize.
Everyone hold hands. Gotcha. Busted. Here comes the catch. Make yourselves at home. Hey. I see everything. Gotcha. Busted. Game's up. Time's over. Feels a split.
Solidify!
Sharing my knowledge. Everyone hold hands. Quietly now. Busted. Things are about to get dicey. Time for afternoon tea. I got you, boss.
with nature. Clouds high, the birds call.
Yummy! Trip on them! Buckle up!
Into the wind.
Surprise! Let the magic begin! You're dead meat!
Yeah. Let's get it on. Wind strike. Sure.
Цветок-сахарок.
One with nature. Sure. One with wind and cloud. Clear weather all around brightens the heart. Follow the wind.
Astra Abyssa. Thank you for completing.
Оу. Ивент в области, которая у меня еще закрыта. Ну что ж, тогда придется идти по сюжетам, чтобы добраться. Окей. Так, задание легенд подождут. Мгм.
Hey, Dia, you're back. Are these two friends of yours? Likewise. There's no need to be so formal with us. We're a pretty casual crew. Anyway, since we've got newcomers, let me fill you in on what the Khan al-Ahmar's been up to lately. They've become extremely aggressive. Apparently, even their own now have become acceptable targets. They even attack other relics brigades, just the same as any other mercenary brigade.
Even the most ferocious beasts still protect their own. It sounds like they've thrown that straight to the wind.
That's right. Once they've collected enough loot off the other mercenaries, a portion of their profits is immediately exchanged for more food and weaponry to be used in their next violent operation.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder why they're so desperate for Mora. A few days ago, Isham and I trailed them for a while, and even disguised ourselves as merchants to conduct trade with them. We were able to learn a few things from the exchange. Rather than saying they're out to plunder and hoard Mora,
Wait, a power struggle?
you heard me right. The vast majority of their victims are mercenaries from the other brigades. If their only goal was Mora, they could have gone after anybody. The targeted nature of their attacks points to a power struggle between the different brigades within the relics. That's the only plausible explanation we have. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything more specific. It seems they're also trying to keep things. Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over the past few years, as the Khan al-Ahmar became more and more active, Deshret's relics as a whole became a lot weaker.
It sounds mighty strange to me too. Haroon, you can leave the rest of the investigation to us. Gotta say though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone. Sounds like you were really putting your necks on the line, no?
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. The Khan al-Ahmar is your father's crew after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more dangerous things than all of us combined?
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Khan al-Ahmar, I took a look at the last. Any survivors of the attack were already long gone.
Ah, Hisham and Khalaf.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Rebot. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears, now that we know you'll have a capable partner with you.
Hey, what about Paimon?
Oh,
Of course! Paimon is the Traveler's
oh. In that case,
Don't underestimate.
Don't worry about her. She may look tiny and helpless, but she's been, even if she had only survived on sheer luck.
I had no idea. I guess I should.
Oh, one other thing, Dia. When you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Main. You weren't around at the time, so people were pretty disappointed to only find our crew of rough, unkempt guys. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing. Only a few people chose to stay, and that...
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor next time. I left in a hurry.
Gotta admit, I can understand their disappointment, though. Now, if only the deputy could figure out a way to bring a few more smoke...
Keep dreaming. Remember the last time I invited a couple gals into the brigade? You all just froze. The awkward silence and weird expressions left quite the impression on them. They were originally interested in joining us.
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that...
Huh? Wait, are you serious?
I don't think you...
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
All right. We can tell you about it later. Now's not the time.
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell me everything right now.
Are they always like...
More or less. There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to mercenaries. We're used to just speaking our minds. If someone starts getting under your skin, you just yell right back at them. And if that doesn't put an end to it, then you just challenge. But we also don't tend to take many things too seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system as soon as things come up is better than keeping everything bottled. That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to them. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. If I'm angry, then I'll unload on them. Hey, knuckleheads, can you at least...
Yeah, you hear her, Holloff? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. All you gotta do is wait and ambush them in the evening.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my regards to...
Will do. You stay safe.
This should be the place. Let's find a spot to hide and bide our time. It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another, so let's all be careful.
No need to worry. He knows it.
I'm not worried about that. What I meant is that we probably shouldn't go... Ah, here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react and end this quickly.
Да уж. Так, стоп. В воскресенье, типа, у нее днюха будет. Забавно.
You're the flame main.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk. Are you buddies with Dakana Lakmar now? Tell me, what are...
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key...
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just... Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this line of work? Tools like, I don't know, you've got 5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much you're...
Whoa!
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds!
I'll save you the trouble.
Huh? Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any first aid supply. I definitely didn't expect him to go that far. Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he...
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries. I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain.
Well, he's out cold for now. We could wait for him to wake up.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time, new and tear. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area.
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Maybe it's a record.
Let me take a look. If this really is a merchant caravan... Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons, and... This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the rainforest, the caravan will exchange the looted goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person.
Приветствую.
That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakana Lakmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for...
Nope.
Yeah, every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered.
Имба чисто по внешке? Если по внешке, то да, это прям имба. А вот насчет реальной силы, скажем, в отряде. Эх, боль, сплошная боль.
Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they? Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably... Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazamon Homayani?
Homoyani?
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Just what the heck is going on here? I'm sorry. You're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet.
Изначально, когда она вышла, она была крайне слаба. Вот. Я подождал, получается, еще одну обнову. Думал, может, как-то ее бафнут. Ну, там какой-то сет выпустили, ну, такой себе, особо ничего не меняющий. В итоге я разочаровался и забросил игру. А тут вот решил вернуться, посмотреть, что к чему, что нового. Видел, там какие-то сеты повыходили. Может, еще плюс какие-то персонажи. Так что я еще особо не в курсе. Что она может, что не может. Плюс, тем более, она у меня еще не прокачанная. Так что посмотрим со временем.
But what this piece of paper confirms is that the Homayani family has been providing goods to Dakana Lakmar.
Так, секундочку. Слушай, поаккуратней со словами, потому что у меня тут в чате модераторов нету. Поэтому имей в виду. Мне придется вручную самому все это отслеживать.
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been trading with Dakana Akhmar?
That's a possibility, but if that was the case, why is this caravan specifically named Shazamon as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan Rebot or Port Ormos. Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homayanis are in need of money.
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the Master would stoop so low to make Mora. You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she wouldn't—
What should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
If you ask me, I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakan.
Dia, are you sure this is the best decision?
I've considered that possibility. But even still, I want to tell her what we found. I think I owe her that much. True friendship is built on trust. She showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up the topic. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
Yeah. Let's We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go?
Actually, we're still investigating. It's just that—
I see. The clues you found have led you back here.
something like that. Yeah.
You all look a little dispirited. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something.
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about—
So something is wrong. Even the travel. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with— So tell—
My lady, please prepare yourself.
The Master. Okay, I understand. My father has been supplying good—
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that in the past, I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me so that I wouldn't. However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30.
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of Mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question.
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or I think I get what you're saying.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing seemed— If my father had always been in contact with Dakan al-Akmar, then it would make sense for him to bring
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your bodyguard?
No, that's too much of a stretch.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that you—
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
put all this on you so suddenly, Dunyarzad.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group...
But is that... My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming to him. I have zero sympathy. However, the Homayani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and kindness. If we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire Homayani family. I would be biting the hand that's fed me over all these years.
Tia.
It's alright, Dia. If anyone were to ask, you could always just say that I'm the one who instructed you to get to the bottom of this.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking
Hey! It's still too early to give up hope! What was that thing about friendship again? Right, yeah, trust! Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts!
Thank you, everyone. That makes a lot of sense. In which case, my lady, could you ask them?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical...
Usual?
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to him is his travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes, my daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantries for now. What is the important...
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something...
So, that's what you found?
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth will bring you...
Wait.
Yes. I understand perfectly why you came to see me. But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, your father Kusela and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but the facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will...
His heartfelt efforts? I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish and fight for. I came here today to support you as the head of the Homayani.
I understand. Our family once needed to take a trip to the desert when Dunyarzad was just a baby. Along the way, we were attacked by bandits. They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed, those Eremites were Kusela's brigade. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled.
Really?
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because we started talking about our children, and I sensed to repay his kindness. I hired his brigade to help out.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was he then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts.
So he was the one who recommended...
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their ranks. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life. If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for the desert would decrease, and she'd be able to leave her previous life behind.
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Dia as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to spend however much it took. Kusela saved my daughter and me all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused to take any mora from him, but he'd always said. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that when the letter contained a request to help him buy food.
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Dakar...
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty rumors, but by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because he doesn't want. That thought occurred to me as well. I figured after some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but in the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me feel least guilty about.
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first.
Oh no. Dia, please don't...
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions. Another way? I don't know. I knew him and he was... But I guess you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet.
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him alone. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying his brigade with some goods, I tried my... However, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary in the desert and is now a member of the Corps. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the Dakan al-Akhmar's merchant. I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern.
Understood. Thank you, sir. Then
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, my father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I feel like our only course of action is to turn everything we know.
Yes, I am prepared. It's time to face my mistakes.
are you?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps? Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh. Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. This place should do. All right. Back to my question.
Don't worry about that for now. You know what—
Wait. There's no need to jump the gun. Let's...
So what's in it for you anyway?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took... I waited in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Dakan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of more from my last run.
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put it... They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any—
Hey, come on.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap? Don't forget, you're the one with no bargaining chips.
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore...
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you, try to stick around the city until we get back. You don't want to... Stay close. No going off on your own. Seems like we're in luck. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves. I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Tia, why are you here?
Into the wind. Fallen leaves, adorn my night.
Buckle up!
Surprise! Let the magic begin!
Quietly, now haven't you all done enough?
So are you also here to stop us?
Stay out of this. It's got nothing to do with you.
She's so strong.
Enough fighting. We all know each other, and I don't want to take things too far. Just bring Kusela to me. There's no use hiding him anymore. Did you understand a single word I just said?
All right, everyone, let's all just calm down for a second. Dia, he died. Along...
What?
Seems like you've been out of the loop for a while. Guess that's for the best, though.
When did he die? What happened?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Akmar and went to the Deshret's Relics headquarters by himself.
So is that when you guys started acting up?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's Relics must pay in blood for what they did.
Let me start from the beginning. Dia, do you know how the head of the Relics maintained order?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough.
They had another tool at their... Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, every person in Deshret's relics were forced to leave a record of themselves at whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit. The records served both as a symbol of loyalty and the perfect material for blackmail. That's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, Bashar, Tikriti, and all the boys who grew up with Dia and ended up joining. But you, Dia, you were never asked to provide a record, were you?
I never even knew that.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. But in the end, he was just an ordinary person. He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses and get beaten up as a result.
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And that's why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without—
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense.
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair—
So, even the blazing beasts were—
Yep. It was all his doing. Had he not arranged them to come to you, you probably would have been reduced to a pulp before you ever left the...
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going... I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need. His words made no sense to me. But that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled. Not just from... But how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what had happened.
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters took him from us.
From that point on, the sole purpose of Dakan al-Ahmar, the big fire that Boss started, was quite a blow to headquarters' strength. It's given us the opportunity, even though we're outnumbered. We vowed to see our revenge through to the very end. There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding. Some fled to other brigades, and others escaped to the rain, but we won't let any of them escape our wrath. They'll all pay for what they've done.
We've suffered plenty of losses as well. To keep going, we need an enormous amount of supplies. From food and medicine to weapon, all we can do is exchange our loot from Mora, and then use that to get supply. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friends. Thankfully, many people were willing to come to our aid. We were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. We've endured unspeakable pain to Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally have an opportunity.
Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the freedom that the boss won for us with his life. Boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about sacrificing yourself to save the world. We used to always laugh at him for it, but in the end, he really went... As for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the... But maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything that was to come. The spirit of the hero touched all those he had saved. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning. But as we acted the parts and recited the lines... I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since you were young. Just...
I'll go with you.
Huh? Dia? You wanna go with them?
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there. I know you don't want to get involved in this, so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
Yeah, Paimon feels like we'd only regret it if we don't.
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last...
Considering all the losses and injuries we sustained.
He can think whatever he wants. But the fact is, I owe him this much. I call dibs.
Is this the entrance? We sure didn't run into much trouble on the way here.
Should be. I don't think they have enough manpower left to post guards and defend their perimeters.
A walk would be nice.
Are you going to hold a festival?
What is the situation?
I'll lead the way. Follow me. Wow. Paimon didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
They should all be holed up in here. Don't know how many.
Who cares? We'll round up all of them.
Still, we should be careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still...
Yeah. We'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance with you here.
There is no escape. Stay put. Time for a light show.
Following order.
New punch.
Shine down.
Take that!
Let's get it on!
Don't be scared.
There is no escape!
Fire hazard.
Oh, the jungle!
Stay put.
I'll be back. This way, follow me. We're almost there.
Wait, they went charging ahead without checking for any traps.
Hey, you guys okay?
It seems like we just got trapped in here.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Well, now that things have come to the...
Don't worry about us. We knew something like this could... Let's go! We can't let the boss...
Let's check if there's another way. The sooner...
Let's see. I think I see a way through over there, but it's being blocked by something.
Okay, let's go. Don't be scared.
Illusion shattered! Inazuma shines eternal! Another mechanism like the one before, but this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
Illusion shattered!
Fuse is lit!
There is no escape!
Stay put!
Now you shall perish!
Don't be scared! Stay put!
I wasn't expecting anyone to make it through from the other side. But as a desert dweller, I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectations.
Don't waste your breath. You have nowhere.
Run. I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could, even now, the greatest should never live to remember.
So you want to go out in a blaze of...
Let us draw our weapon! They are but two, while we hold... Wave one! Charge! Eliminate them!
Illusion shattered!
Time for
Law
a
of the jungle!
Let's get it on! You're dead meat!
Don't think that you've won. You're just getting started. King Deshret will not abandon any one of his followers.
That didn't count!
Is that all you've got?
Good luck! Lots off!
Testing my patience. We'll meet again. Brothers! With me, this is where we prove our faith.
You all just want to die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive! The golden slumber.
Go away!
The commander has finally fallen.
But they're still coming at us! This place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter...
Yes! Keep fighting! There's no...
When the next wave comes, try to draw away. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
Get out of my way!
Come and face me, Michel! Ugh, so they've broken through the...
Apologies, Lord Michal. They fight like absolute...
So...
Time to pay for everything you've...
You think I would get... I will be buried in the sand, alongside all...
Hey, wait!
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more. But if you're still going to cling on to your so-called mercenary's pride, then I'll give you all.
Hey, dear! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Let's go.
You play. You're up.
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics, and you still can't even tell who's made it all the way to your headquarters?
Who knows what intent a bunch of rats may have? We try to catch a couple, and you all just show up. Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Why would I know?
This is your last chance.
Hey, I said I don't know any. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records yourselves?
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others. Where's the records room?
It's right over there. All the files are in there.
I mean the old records room.
The old records room? Kusela. Ah, yeah, I remember him now. Watch your mouth. That's our boss. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling, but in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a fraud. And after that, Deshret's relics...
Stop wasting our time. Everyone tell me, where...
It's just over there. Go see... There's nothing left in there but ashes. No... Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll leave the other... Spare them no mercy if...
So, this was his final destination. How did he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and sneaking in here to start a... If he was nimble enough to do that, then he must have been able... I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking. Let's look...
Kane?
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more. What if something...
But what else could survive a fire like that?
Huh?
Thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
The dragon is no more, for Princess Dia has slain it. Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Dia, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Dia, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad. What's this?
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up, and Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. You look super confused that these opportunities don't come by often. So today, Paimon's gonna treat you to a special crash course on... Hey, come on! Paimon's not that stingy. Anyway, the point is that you should eat to your heart's content. You'll feel better for sure once you've gotten something in your tummy. Junior Zad will also be here shortly.
Aw, thanks you two. Honestly, this is very unlike me. I just had a lot on my mind on our way back, so my chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotions. They just shook me even more than all the feelings we've shared during. But when everything came to an end, those emotions also vanished without a trace. And it was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me. Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the world. But perhaps to us, it's the most worthless thing of all. Idrisi and the others all used to say that they would quit if there was no Mora to be had. But when it came to avenging my father, my reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. But look at me now. Despite all my promises about never forgiving him and never trying to understand him, we're hypocrites. All of us. Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often only recognize our true feelings after it.
You're back! Are all of you all right?
Ah, there she is.
Yeah. Many people from the Corps of 30 came over, and I just wrapped up everything with my dad. All I can do now... Huh? Dia, you're looking quite down again.
Paimon will explain. A lot happened while we were gone.
I'm sorry. I really
It's all right, my lady. You were hurt by all of this as well. Truth be told, I'm starting...
Dia, your pain must be even worse.
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, this whole thing has finally shown me the difference between illusion and reality. My father probably thought that people could settle into new lives as long as they moved to a new environment. That thought has even crossed my mind a few times. It's like saying, what's wrong with adapting? However, there was always something deep within my mind that refused to accept it. This impulse brought me great turmoil, and even made me feel. But now that I consider it again, it all makes sense. The desert sands are a part of who I am, and I will.
I understand how you feel.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, I'm now thinking about taking on some small odd jobs. It's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father and become a character in his play. Even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous, it won't really.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new kind of mercenary, one that's not. Why don't we go for a change of scenery once we finish eating? What?
Right. You said you wanted to get a rug for your
We'll come along too.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire time.
Oh, this rug here is quite something. The craftsmanship is exquisite, and the fabric is also of high quality.
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey! Aren't you that mercenary who bit his tongue? You can still talk? Wait, are you here to take...
What are you talking about? Do I look like I could take you all in a fight? I just came here to give you something. I'll be on my way to give myself up to the Corps after this. Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Ahmar, but when I got there, I found no one except the members who were still too.
Ah, so you probably got there after.
Yeah, they told me that they had exacted their revenge, and everyone had turned themselves in to the authorities. I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela. Now that everyone's already turned themselves in, I might have... One of the injured members gave this box to me. Everything left in the camp will get confiscated, so I figured I should get this to you before the
Thank you.
No worries. We are all just living our own truths. There's no need to comment or judge anyone for it.
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left behind. Huh. It feels lighter than expected.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he did with any moral was spend it on... But let's see what's inside. What's this? It's just a bunch of junk. Ugh, it kinda stinks.
Perhaps it's just been left unopened for too long.
A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellowed, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. It was against the Academia's rules to possess books for personal use. If he was going to break that rule, he could have at least copied something useful.
That probably means this was really
And here are a few bags of children's snacks. The packaging's completely deteriorated.
Did he get those for you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of these kinds of... Who even leaves snacks in a box like this anyway? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round iron... A wool scarf, which, from the looks of it, probably belonged... I'm sorry, my lady, but this is just the kind of man he was. He probably saw the... 2 empty liquor bottles. Tell me, you guys, are these...
Huh? There's something in the bottle!
Oh, you're right. All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing didn't smudge. I was suddenly seized with an urge to write a letter after finishing this bottle. I just fold to Dia. It's a letter. It's all right. I'll just read it out. If you went to the trouble of writing a letter...
My condition's becoming worse and worse. Can't even walk without a cane anymore, much less go out and have fun. Guess if you're reading this letter, then I suppose I'm already... You were adorable as a baby. Everyone loved you. And regardless of whether you were crying or laughing, everyone enjoyed having... But once you grew a bit older, you were no longer nearly as happy or cute. It's probably the guy's fault.
Can you believe this guy? He can point the finger at himself.
Anyway, back to the point. To summarize, I'm writing this so you would know not to feel sad for the reason being that I was never your father to begin with.
Wait, what?
Surely,
I don't know.
I was quite formidable when I was young, and 100 times cool. Really felt like the whole world was under my feet. With just a teeny tiny bit of effort, I felt I could... But as fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day and discovered a baby. You were just lying there, small and helpless. You were so tiny that if the wind... But your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. None of them even doubted me. I'm sorry that I had to lie to them for so long, but I was their most esteemed leader after all. It's not like I could just tell... at this rate, oh... Anyway, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
That's the end of the letter. In the end, he was still thinking of me as a little child. I suppose, or I would have suffocated under the
he was a good father to you. The fact that he wasn't a blood...
Yeah. It's just a pity.
Do you already have some ideas about...
I do. If he first found me alone in this, I just have one wish. To tell them that there once existed a childish and foolish jerk with a heart, and that only under his care was I able to grow.
If you end up finding any leads, can you share them with us? We go on adventures all the time.
Sure, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting you to be so enthusiastic.
I'll help too.
Thank you. All of my life has certainly had its twists and turns, but I've always considered myself lucky. Because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded by incredible kindness. So much power! I have to go test this out. You down to spar with... My people are used to the desert. But still, I hope that one day they'll be able to find an oasis of their own and leave the sandstorms behind for a better life.
Но вот почему нельзя погладить? Что за безобразие? Неужели так сложно это добавить? Эх.
What shall we do?
Who's our target this time?
There are still so many places for us to explore. Remembers, Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her. So much time has already passed since then, and it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge, right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time, and then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with. Yeah, guess you're right. We somehow always find ourselves right. Come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble. Huh? Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even... anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we should think about heading to our next destination for now.
Ah, look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business. Even though it may have nothing to do with our journey. But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine. Nothing too interesting. Just escorting a shipment of goods. I'm on my way to report back. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you two talking about anyway? Huh? You serious? Can't say I saw that coming. But you are travelers after all. I guess you'd never stay for too long in one place. Bumping into you like this will become a rarity. I'm starting to feel sad just thinking about it. Hey, how about I gather a few mercs to escort you two? What do you say?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much. But don't worry, we'll come back to see everyone when we get a chance.
Sounds good. All you need to do to get to Fontaine is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two. So, when are you leaving?
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes in Sumeru that Paimon...
I see. Guess you won't be needing a going-away party or anything. Though, now that I think about it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true.
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahida? Oh, good point.
Then, I guess this is goodbye for now, Traveler in Paimon. Whether as a client or a friend, you're always welcome to come find me.
Goodbye, Dia. Bye-bye, Sumeru.
Every journey has its... Osmanthus wine tastes the same as Irene. But where are those?
that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port. Wow, everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual... Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do. What do you think? Good idea! Nahida gave us loads of useful information. Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point. Yeah, the more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has... To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Excuse me. Can I help you too? I couldn't help...
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but...
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened.
Really? Like, a real trial?
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that?
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice, false charges and injustice are a thing of the past now.
Oratrice? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydra?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon personally. In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend on whether or not...
Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult...
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get...
First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before. Wait! Paimon gets now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like...
Yeah, I suppose you could say that.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I'm...
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the Hydro Archon.
Alright, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But who knows how long making an appointment will take? Hey! What are you looking over there for? Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her. Hello there. Excuse me.
Huh? Ah, I'm fine. Thanks.
Oh, okay then. We just noticed that you
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to... I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids.
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in...
No, people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, it's been completely submerged. He would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. The sun shone brightly, and the air was filled, but now, the water is gradually swallowed.
Sorry.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you are?
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the travel. We were just talking with your sister.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
See...
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfed?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's... Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about where to begin. Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Font...
Oh, alright then. Well, by the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro-Archon. Would you be...
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was... Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
So, she's the Hydro-Archon? But...
My dear people,
rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all. Raise your glasses in celebration! If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, 2 unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and his companion, who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about us?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner. I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like the Hydro Archon's entrance was, Miss Hydro Archon? How did you...
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the... You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to
Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still...
Is she...
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here. Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina? Is there some kind...
Of course! That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about.
Ooh, I've got to see this.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators, you may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will...
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a...
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his bravery. Unfortunately, people nowadays...
Yeah, she's right. Just a duel.
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor. I'm getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see. Then, as the god...
All right!
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand opera house. It would be a pity not...
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you... Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason. According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within Fontaine city limits during the first 3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty of violating this law.
Хрю-хрю. Привет.
That's what they've done wrong. That's Our Lady Farina. No one knows the laws of Fontaine like she does.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object? You mean Paimon?
Precisely. Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun, but if you would allow me to interject... I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a...
You tell her, Linny! Finally someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
Ah, great magician Linny, my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show. So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did Linny do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the Traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
Huh? I'm not sure what to think.
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally be called complete.
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not bring charges against an innocent person. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
Unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. You never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation. Just so. Now do you see what kind of god...
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine. The Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminals...
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances. And speaking of performances,
My brother's always excited to make...
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to...
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have some... Oh, you really mean it? This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps...
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... You asked... I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the Nation of Justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to...
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started...
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death. We hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pockets to them. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity. I'm sure they will come in handy when people are moving their belongings.
Oh, Paimon gets it! It's like preparing for a rainy day! But this is more than a bit of rain.
Perhaps only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. But who knows? We're just tiny specks in the grand scheme of things. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless of what they say.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy?
What? You mean you don't...
No, I believe in the prophecy. But the story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with it. As time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea with... So, if you ask me, in the water...
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't...
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about. My apologies for not recognizing... Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of every. Thanks. Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get. Quake!
Huh? I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the life is all about living in the moment. What?
You should still take it.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some, interesting opinions. Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing it.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the material.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
Где же эта статуя? Либо на самом верху.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Just what will we come across this time?
Эх, печально. Тоже печально. Минус 2 артефакта.
have to use Hydro to collect for maritime flowers.
Water jet! Water jet!
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I
Прям
fear
как
I may
коками.
not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Работает на энергии.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here,
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good.
wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's obvious. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should... You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right, let's go.
Так. Можно было бы, конечно, телепортнуться. Мне интересно, сколько по времени он будет ехать. Кошмар. В этот лифт точно нужна какая-нибудь музыка.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Anyway, I should be going now.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole.
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and
Oh,
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact,
if you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen.
You're right, you're right. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled, but at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so...
What a slippery little thief! Guess things turned out all right in the end, though.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around! People...
This is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is all...
So you mean it's still boring, even...
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Oh, excuse me! Aren't you the great magician Lenny? And his assistant Lynette?
Hello. I don't believe we've...
I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Wait, could that be the legendary traveler who's been making headline after headline in their journey across Tibet?
Amazing! You recognize everybody.
I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who's who, would I? Wow, today must be my day. Who knew I would end up on the same boat as so many VIPs? Could my vision finally be showing me some favor?
So, Charlotte, what do you usually report on?
Well, when there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clip. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. That's fine and all, but what I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could... Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well,
You mean the serial disappearances of young...
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably if I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked. And when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered.
So, what is the serial
That's right! The first missing girl case happened almost... And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the case is, but the scariest part is that to this day, many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every...
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserve... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
Ah, I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, Could you come here for a moment?
Hmm? What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pop.
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a...
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers. It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Araneus. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the... I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends...
No trouble at all! Don't worry, we're on the case!
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such...
Oh, no need!
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making...
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run.
Whoa. So, is Linny...
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here?
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology.
But where does a big machine like that...
Well, it's a little complicated, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was but Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn...
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next...
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait.
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first?
О, вот он. Практически в каждой бочке затычка. Тарталья.
If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, things have been pretty, but it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy.
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect... Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tooser ice fishing, Tooser said...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys! Let's see who has to pay up now!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
You're mine. Yeah, shouldn't let your guard down. Yeah.
Oh, what's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snesh?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't... Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them.
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing...
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have, but recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me, she was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very... One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. Because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my...
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just... In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned...
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my element. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little... So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident but it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place.
Oh, it sounds like...
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange... Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be.
What? More work for the Northland?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists?
Yep, in Fontaine before a criminal goes to court. They're given one chance to the champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred, so engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they and the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a... Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with. Which is exactly why I was itching to... Apparently the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she...
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorinde. Huh.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this. I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for now. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve...
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Paimon never saw that. The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this... It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too. Oh, sorry about that. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to... Lily said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus!
Time to get down to business.
Sure.
You lead the way.
We mercs have one simple rule. Whoever pays the most is your new boss.
Так, ну, на сегодня все. И так на целый час задержался. Продолжим уже, если что, завтра. Так что всем спасибо, кто смотрел, и до связи.